questions about politics, about business, about real estate flipping, about life, about sex, about divorce. This is the Ask Sean Whalen Show.
My friends, welcome back to the Ask Sean Show. It's been a while since we've done an episode. Why are you laughing? It's funny. We have April here today. April's going to start hanging out and asking some questions. She's really embarrassed because she didn't know we were filming today and didn't get all done up and pretty and stuff. And I said, guess what? We're filming today. And so here we are. So that everybody, thank you so much for your questions, for your comments. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done one of these episodes, and I feel the love and I appreciate everybody asking when we're going to do the next one. So here we are. A bunch of good questions today. So without further ado, let's get into the show. So here's what's funny about this layout and this setup, and being somebody who's a little bit outspoken in social media, is when I say to people, hey, what are your questions? What do you want to feature on the show? And someone says, quote, what is your penis size? When I have my lovely assistant here reading me the questions, I'm kind of like, well, shit, what do we do? What do we do with this kind of stuff? So I don't know if we're going to have to filter these things or if we're just going to have to start blocking people. But April actually asked a really good question in discussion of whether or not we were going to answer this question. Because I said no, and you said, she said, I talked to a guy once, and according to him, every guy measures his penis size. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this one alone. And I'm gonna let all of you wonder whether or not every man actually measures his penis. I think this is the best way to address this question. And that's how we're gonna leave it, my friends. James, good question. A little more serious than the one before, and we'll try and actually answer it appropriately. So James asked how you took the filters off. The reality is, man, like I grew up, believe it or not, I was a really, really quiet, shy kid. I was kind of an introvert. I didn't have tons of friends. I wasn't very outspoken. And it really wasn't until my divorce that I realized that I had two options. To get really real with what things were and to be truthful and honest with what the situations were around me, or to continue to lie. And I felt like after I started to experience a little bit of truth, I realized how heavy the weight was of lying. And I know that sounds really crazy, and your parents are always telling you don't lie, and you think about the word lying, and it's like, I don't lie, but when God made us, God made all of us professional liars. And the reality is the person that we lie to the most is ourselves. And so I realized the weight of lying and the weight of hiding and the weight of not sharing the things that were truth was far greater than actually being real. Now, a lot of people are scared about this because there's then the judgment of, well, I did this or I did that. So I'm really open with like my bankruptcy and with my divorce and things along those lines. And a lot of people want to jump on the bandwagon of hating on you and making fun of you and throwing stones, if you will, because you went through these experiences. But for me, the weight is light. And I don't worry about what people say or think or feel because the truth has been spoken. And I've put it into the marketplace, and I don't fear what people say or don't say, as opposed to me trying to hide those things. So it's not necessarily did I take the filters off, it's just I quit lying to myself, and ultimately that freed me to be able to share a lot of truth and a lot of real, raw, vulnerable messages with the marketplace. And I feel like, one, it's built somewhat of a tribe that I've amassed through Facebook and social media and other things like that. But two, it's freeing as shit. It absolutely allows you to be free of the weight of trying to hide things back and hold things back, and realizing that you can't please everybody, and you just got to stop trying to please everybody. And once you stop doing that, you get free. So that's when I, quote unquote, decided to take the filters off and get real. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it was just an issue of stop lying to myself. Brian, good question. What in the hell happened to common sense? I think truthfully what it is, bro, is that we as a society have been sedated and neutered as men. I'll speak from a man's position, we've been sedated and literally neutered to be able to speak truth. So it's not necessarily common sense, it's what's truthful and what the truth really is. And the truth offends a lot of people. Why? Because they're not playing in the same realm of being truthful. So when you say something like, this is the way that it should be, people are like, that's outlandish, that's crazy, that's being a bully, that's this, that, and the other. When deep down, they know that it's true, they just haven't been able to get themselves to the place where they can acknowledge what truth is. So we hear this a lot in politics. I'm big into politics, and we're talking about this all the time about common sense. People ask me, what party are you aligned with or in allegiance to or whatever. I'm like, dude, the common sense party. Because common sense says that I should be able to say whatever the hell I want, and at the end of the day, if you get offended, that's your own fault. Why is that my fault? Why am I supposed to lead a life and speak words that ultimately make you pleased, when at the end of the day, that's not what's real and truthful to me? So, to me, common sense, man, is speaking the truth, and at the end of the day, if your truth aligns with other people, great. God bless America, that's amazing. But at the end of the conversation, like, I'm not here to prove to you or to prove to anybody else what is or isn't anything other than what I believe. To me, it's always common sense. Everything I say is always common sense, right? She agrees, and so we're gonna roll with that. That's common sense, my friends.